He doesn't fit the typical incel category. The dude is fucking jacked. He actually helped me when I started lifting. However, he is dumb as a box of rocks, and has zero personality. Like, none at all. He likes cars? That's about the only thing that I think is genuinely his thing. The rest is just random bits of machismo that he's incorporated into his image. This is because he doesn't seem to think of women as people. He feels like there's a list of things that, if you achieve them, you will get a woman, like in the mail, I guess, since he never goes to social places and doesn't do online dating. His muscles? They're to impress women. The truck he can't afford but drives anyway? It's to impress women. The beard? Yep. It's to impress women. He also carries a too large knife everywhere, hangs half-naked Playboy posters on his walls, wears boots and a cowboy hat, though had never left the city, etc. I've tried explaining that, muscles or not, no woman wants someone who is so obviously fake. I don't even know what you're into besides lifting and cars. He seems to show interest in my geeky hobbies, but never take me up on my offers to join because nah, man, I'm not nerdy. Except he asks about them constantly. I really feel bad for him. He's a 25-year-old man who has a good job and takes care of himself. If he dropped the act for 30 seconds, I bet some girl would love to date him. Follow. Baby steps, though. I was close with this guy in college who, though he probably wouldn't say it, is an incel. Total neckbeard oh why aren't girls into me kind of thing. He was convinced it was because he was overweight and nerdy and that women were too shallow to see what a great guy he was. But here's the thing, fat people get laid all the time. If they are a fun, cool, kind, not nice, person, then you shouldn't have a problem. The one thing he, and probably most incel, neckbeards, nice guys need to hear is a quote from the movie The Social Network. But you're going to go through life thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd. And I want you to know, from the bottom of my heart, that won't be true. It'll be because you're a butthole. I've had a friend for many years. He basically wants a woman in her 30s, he's about 50, who is very religious, a virgin of course, never married, supermodel gorgeous, doesn't have cats, isn't Catholic, and doesn't smoke. At my wedding he drooled all over my thrice-divorced Jewish best friend, because she is gorgeous. Therefore my opinion is that he's just interested in the gorgeous part of that list and the rest would fall by the wayside if he found someone attractive enough. My roommate recently said to me if she even has a little bit of body fat, that's a deal breaker, and it's not that he doesn't get laid, but it's been probably 5 years since he had sex that he didn't fly to Southeast Asia for. He has a dead-end job and no degrees or marketable skills but wants to make more money so he can date hot girls. I offered to recommend him for an entry-level job at the giant corporation where I work, but he turned out down because the hours were too early. The actual problem is that his only criteria for a partner is looks and he doesn't bring that much to the table himself. He's severely overweight and a super nerd about a very niche type of film that is offensive to a lot of people. He basically wears cargo shorts 24/7 with anime t-shirts and doesn't seem to take care of his appearance at all. He went to the same art school as us and is actually talented, but didn't put in the effort to make it work after graduating and works a dead-end part-time retail job in his hometown even though we're in our 30s now. The weird thing is that he's a pretty sweet dude, generous, creative, easy to talk to and emotionally open, but he freaks out when he hangs with people he hasn't known for a long time. I really think he needs therapy for anxiety or something related. He only crushes on hot skinny goth girls or gets stuck on girls from art school that have severe addiction problems, but he's getting really bitter these past few years. I'm a fat weeb with a fat weeb boyfriend, and he always seems so supportive about this, but he refuses to date anyone even slightly overweight himself, even though he is morbidly obese. Last fall a friend who is a chubby nerd girl but actually pretty cute, and stable. Full-time career. Actually likes sexploitation movies. Has a polished style, asked him out and he said no because he didn't love her. You barely know her. Just go on a date. You don't have to like her, just stop being scared of girls. I choose to be a virgin. Okay, Edwin. Sure. You're 31 years old and a chronic masturbator. The problem is, my friend is the quintessential neckbeard dweeboo. He considers himself an intellectual and anyone who doesn't share his beliefs is beneath him. He wants a petite, Japanese virgin. She's gotta be perfect. She has to have a slightly protruding canine tooth because it's kawaii. He's already limited himself to a niche demographic of women, and he has nothing to offer except his 1996 Honda Civic with 203,000 miles. So why am I friends with him? I feel bad for the guy. If he shaved his patchy beard, lose 100 pounds, work out regularly, and stop pushing his beliefs onto people, he might actually get a girl. Doesn't have to be a petite, Japanese virgin with a slightly crooked canine tooth. He claims he hasn't always been incel, but for as long as I've known him he's never had a girlfriend or even a passing fling. And it's all because of his personality. Highly opinionated about pretty much everything. Ultra fanboy for certain films, has a vast collection of toys and other memorabilia, dedicated an entire spare bedroom to the collection. On the surface he's a nice guy, but he goes from 0 to 60 fast with his terrible opinions. I knew a guy like that asked every girl out. Constantly. It got to the point where women would warn other women about him in advance. Hey, there's going to be this guy there who asks out every girl he meets. He's harmless, so just ignore him. He once, due to tunnel vision, accidentally asked a girl out right in front of her boyfriend. I'm told women found his shotgun approach annoying not just because he came on too strong but also because it shows a lack of personal interest in them as an individual. Apparently women, and men, if they are going to go on a date with you, want to feel like there is something you like or value about them in particular and not just that you are looking for a placeholder person. The story has a surprisingly happy ending, though. Other than his approach to women, he had a lot of things going for him. Really nice guy, smart, decent looking, good job. He was never a creep, he just tried way too hard. He ended up growing out of it, partly through friends guiding him in the right direction and I'm sure partly through just maturing. He's now happily married with 2 kids. And his wife isn't some loser that a desperate person settles for, she's actually kind of a catch. One is a straight-up creep. He openly talks about how much he's into lolicking. He wants a girl that looks like she's 12, and also likes all of the neckbeardy hobby stuff that he's into like wargaming and Toho. He had a girl interested in him once before that he wrote off because she was too fat, she was barely chubby, and wants a 10 while he himself looks like Gollum. One is an insufferable sad sack. He constantly self-deprecates with forever alone type stuff, complains and moans about being a nice guy, gave himself a stupid nickname, Panda, and constantly uses it to refer to himself in the third person. The last is attractive, funny, sociable, intelligent, and stable. He's tried fix-ups and online dating, but nothing really works out compatibility-wise. He'll make a great catch for the right lady, he just hasn't had much luck yet. Not a friend or an acquaintance, but my uncle. The man is almost 60. He has never lived outside of his parents' house and, despite having a nursing degree, not only has never had a job but has never once had a day where he didn't refuse to look for one. His hobbies are literally to drink in his room, jack off, and stake out random places in town to catch people doing something he doesn't like, littering, wearing something inappropriate, etc., and get their license plate number so he can harass them. Oh, but don't worry. He hides behind payphones and any other method he can use to be a coward. His car? A 2018 Chevy Cruze his mother pays for. His excuse for never looking for a job, by the way, is because his back hurts. No injuries or any health issues, it just hurts. Screw finding a desk job, his back hurts there as well, even though he can spend 4 to 8 hours sitting in his car doing nothing. He's also an insufferable bigot with his opinions on top of being one of those people who has to know literally everything about everyone and doesn't know how not to start a fight or say something that isn't belligerent. He constantly whines about never once having a girlfriend because they're all whores who like pieces of crap instead of good guys that will treat them right. What he doesn't get is he can't get a woman because he is him. Not a single thing redeemable about him, and I haven't even scratched the surface in describing just how worthless and despicable a human being he is. I seriously don't know what this idiot is going to do when his mother dies, as she does everything for him. Bit of a different strain of incel. He's not opinionated or a sarcastic butthole or a contrarian. He's the opposite. He has no opinions, no personality, nothing. He's mild, flavorless, and bland. No passion, no drive. He's either the most boring guy in existence, or the most repressed guy in existence. Either way, that's not exactly going to bring in any girls. Yeah, he's a nice guy, but that's literally it. No one can say he's a fun guy. No one can say he's an interesting guy. No one can say he's a generous or charitable. He's literally just nice and inoffensive. And when the world is filled with nice and inoffensive guys who are also smart, funny or interesting. My stepson is totally an incel. He doesn't take pride in his appearance or wash his clothes, and he wonders why he's alone. His dad has tried discussing this with him, but he just blames everyone else for his lack of ladies. Like once he blamed liberals as a whole. Incel here. My actual problem is my personality. I'm ugly, sure, but I've seen guys as ugly as me with women somehow. I'm very boring and hold several controversial opinions on issues, and some that piss off both sides of two-sided issues. I'm selfish, self-centered, lazy, and am not capable of empathy. They're a contrarian, weeaboo, hardcore one-upper, chronic masturbator. If anything is remotely good or popular, it's garbage in their eyes, and will go at great lengths to tell you why. They're obsessed with anime and any Japanese cultural phenomenon. If you say you've done something, they'll either put you down by saying it's in no way impressive, or come up with something more fascinating they've experienced or witnessed. The last one goes without saying. If you start talking to them, they'll constantly turn things around to some softcore pornography photo that you should check out. Everyone who knows them are 99.95% sure he's a virgin. They're the kind of person who supposedly gets random hookups with out-of-town girls who disappeared, never to be heard from again. He's actually super thin and lanky. Weird mustache thing going on, not a full beard, and wears sunglasses all the time. You're not dating anyone because you will never ever find Beyonce booty, Pamela Anderson boobs, Charlize Theron waist size, Anne Hathaway face, Taylor Swift popsicle legs, and Nicki Minaj sex drive in one woman. It's just never going to be a thing. If that person exists, then we're in a new age of Jurassic Park. You could, however, clean up a bit and go talk to normal girls who have nice jobs as an office receptionist and gets dental. His most fundamental and pernicious belief is that access to sex will absolve him from any of life's hardships, his depression will instantaneously subside, his arrogance will be perceived as justified, and his indignation towards women will abate. He perceives his ineptitude with women as an extrinsic problem, and women are narcissistic creatures who derive gratification from his unrelenting humiliation. He's accumulating an increasing amount of weight by the day, his general disposition is morose at all times, and yet the cause of all this? Women and unattainable copulation. Sex is not an intrinsic human right, but for this incel, he's been deprived of his rights by deprecating roasties. We are in our mid-20s and it's no longer cool to smoke weed all day long while rotating between TV, gaming, and eating. I understand your pops is okay with paying your rent and everything right now, but you are way too okay with it. This is the only time in our lives that I will get time to relax like this before I get a career, and I'm always busy. I'm just taking advantage of this stage in my life. You're 25, bro, that time you were talking about ended about 4 years ago. My friend has extremely low self-esteem and never just goes for it with a girl. He's 25 and still a virgin who's never had a girlfriend in his life, but is actually reasonably good looking and would look even better if he lost 30 pounds, and he's a good guy too. For some reason though, he just can't talk with a girl properly, flirt at the right times, and basically just be yourself kinda thing. He does want a girlfriend badly too, heck, he's even drunkenly cried about it to me on one occasion too, but his problem is he just hasn't got the balls to even attempt to chat up girls even when he's had a wingman introduce him. I think one day he'll get a girlfriend though, he's just gotta get out of his shell around women and be himself, go with the flow and simply be more relaxed. Short version, unrealistic expectations. She must look like a supermodel post airbrushing at all times, be a virgin, cook, clean, and generally being treated like a possession, while putting up with a dude that can't remember when he last showered, and isn't sure if the underoos he's wearing were clean when he put them on. That, and the guy has the personality of a wet cat. I mean seriously, a grown man that behaves like the mean girl from the latest Disney tween dramedy. It would be hilarious if he weren't so annoying, and well, offensive to the senses. Seriously, F nuts, take a shower. With soap. At least once a day, wash clothes at least once a week. Signed, literally everyone at work. P.S. Sarah isn't a stuck-up witch. She just won't have sex with you because she's got a functioning nose, and well, she's happily married with 2 kids, butt wipe.